Good afternoon, CFM. Happy Monday to you. Let's kick off our week with some back squats. Begin with our warm-up. 2 rounds through, we're gonna start off with just real simple, some jumping jacks, some scorpion stretches, and good morning squats. So jumping jacks, I feel like I don't need to demo these, but I will just in case. The scorpion stretch from the ground, arms out like a T, rotate around. Don't have to spend too much time on these ones. Just make sure you get a good stretch. The good morning squat is probably the most important part of the warm-up, because then we're going to be practicing bracing the spine in that hinging position, and then also stretching out the hip, the ankle, the knee, the foot down at the bottom of that squat. You can do the first round with just a PVC pipe. After that, move to your regular barbell, and then right into a set of warm-up squats. So back squats, this is our next to heaviest that we will be going, and this is our last cycle before our max out cycle. So keep that in mind as we go through it. We start to pull away from the supersets and the other things that will either keep your heart rate up or occupy you otherwise in between your sets of lifting, so that we can focus more on just the core lifts. And then as we reset into like the beginning of the cycle, our 18-week cycle, we'll add in more volume and more alternate exercises. And that's just so you can get a feel for the flow and the periodicity of our training. All right, so it's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, all right? And the percentages are built into sugar WOD. Make sure, I will always preface this by saying I put a priority on getting the reps done at a very high intensity level relative to your percentages, as opposed to just putting the percentage on the bar and hoping for the best, okay? So we say like we are definitely in the business of exercise physiology, and that is a science, but we are not doing science experiments here in the gym, which is like, hey, let's combine these two things and see if it explodes or if it becomes something useful. I would rather it always be something useful, and that means that we have to be iterative, progressive, and thoughtful about the way that we approach our squats. So use the first few sets as diagnostics, let it sink in. Like if 85% felt like really, really heavy, then maybe you don't need to make the next jump to the next higher percentage. And conversely, if you are making faster progress, then maybe 85% is really 75% for you, and you need to bump your top numbers up, okay? So just keep your mind open to that. Don't get locked into those percentages. Use them as a guide, but not as like a hard, fast rule, okay? All right, when we're done with that, I have a carrying and core workout for you today. So you need a couple of kettlebells, and you can also have a barbell. Have some options for you on this one. We'll begin each round with the 200-meter farmer carry with the heavy weights, right? So set that posture. I want to see the chin tucked. Try not to be leaning forward like this when you carry, but try to stand up tall, squeeze those shoulder blades back. You don't have to exaggerate it, but just be in a good position as you're carrying it. And then after that, I want you to accumulate a front rack hold with either kettlebells or barbell. And you can have your bar stay in the rack, and we are just going to do a front rack hold. So we're just standing in that position and holding for a full minute, right? Just standing there, bracing the spine, standing in a good position. Make sure that it is not a position that bothers your wrists. So in other words, there is a lot of muscle activity that has to be engaged in when we're holding that position. Same thing on the kettlebells, right? If I'm holding those kettlebells, right, I've got to be active in that shoulder position. I can't be like dumpy, sitting back, like relaxing, hanging off my joints. I want to be supporting it with the structure, right? And if you have the kettlebells in the front rack position, it's fingers touching with the kettlebells. The handles are touching just underneath my chin. And that's where you want to be in that front rack position for the kettlebells. All right, then we're going to break into some explosive push-ups. So if possible, I would like to see you do a clapping push-up, right? So it's from the ground, jumping with your arms, right? So we're practicing being explosive, not just with your legs when you do box jumps, but also with your arms. If you need some help with that, we can set a band across the rig or hanging down from the rig. The same way that we assist push-ups, you can assist, or pull-ups, you can assist push-ups. What I don't want to do is any type of explosive push-up with your hands on an elevated object, such as like a bar across the rig, an adjustable pull-up bar, or a bench. Because if you don't catch your hands in the right spot, you can come crashing down to it, and that's not pleasant. So if you cannot clap, I would like to at least see you push up as fast as you can. Let your hands break contact with the ground, but you don't necessarily have to clap. You can kind of work up to clapping. But the emphasis on that exercise is the speed with which we recruit all those muscles, right? We're trying to be explosive in that pushing motion away from the ground, okay? And then lastly, we'll just follow up with a 30 or 24 calorie bike, getting through that for 3 rounds through, thinking about the effect of each different exercise as opposed to how fast can I get the whole thing done. Usually on a workout where I have carries and either farmer carry or front rack carry, those ones I want you to think less about the time and more about the effect that it has on your body, right? The time is sort of the alluring shiny object that can help you to get done faster. I want to compete with my buddies. I want to have this high energy competitive environment, and a lot of times that can take away from the effect of the workout on your body because you're rushing or you're holding a bad position when you're in your farmer carry because you're trying to hustle to get done with it instead of holding the correct position for a little bit longer. All right, that is it for today. I hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you for your workout on Tuesday. Beep.